Well, we have good news and bad news. Here's the bad news first. This is the former chief Border Patrol agent, Aaron Heitke. He was ordered by the Biden-Harris administration to cover up the disaster at the border. Here's his testimony, throwing Kamala Harris under the bus, Biden-Harris under the bus. But I think this goes back to Alejandro Mayorkas. He had to have known about this in a massive cover-up. Watch this. Oh, welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel.
In San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year. These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests.
So he was forced to cover it up by this administration. That's a cover up they don't want you to know, so you can be an informed voter. The whole time that they said that the border was secure, they knew it wasn't. They knew it. Karine Jean-Pierre knew it. Joe Biden knew it. Kamala Harris knew it. And Alejandro Mayorkas, who under oath said it was secure, he definitely knew it was not secure, and they covered it up.
The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. Fentanyl is another issue. The San Diego area sees between 80 and 90% of the methamphetamine and fentanyl seizures annually for our entire country. With little enforcement at the border, these drugs were coming through en masse. During my last year in San Diego, the price for a single pill of fentanyl, for example, went from $10 to 25 cents.
Now, I'm a huge fan of San Diego, and that's what happens when you flood a market with a product like illegal fentanyl. It goes from $10 a pill to 25 cents each, thanks to the Biden-Harris, that is Kamala Harris, and you're voting for more of it if that's what you go for. We cannot vote for these people. They have to be tried.
To make matters worse, during 2022 and 23, I had to shut down San Diego traffic checkpoints, which are critical for drug interdiction, because the resources had been diverted to the process and release mission.
Flooding the process and release mission was always the goal of getting the Border Patrol agents off the border from stopping people to processing them, processing the families, doing all the paperwork on them so that more people could come in, because they weren't being policed. This was deliberate.
The large numbers also had and still have a negative impact on the San Diego community. I had to release illegal aliens by the hundreds each day into communities who could not support them. To quiet the problem, 2 flights a week were provided from San Diego to Texas. These flights simply brought aliens that would have been released in San Diego over to Texas.
And that is illegal human trafficking, going over state borders solely for the purpose of covering it up down in Southern California.
Each flight cost approximately $150,000. This was the administration's way to try and quiet the border-wide crisis.
That's $150,000 wasted on every flight by your government that you paid for with your taxes. Now, I didn't want to leave you on this unhappy news and make you all angry. So here's Lady Gaga's dad endorsing Trump.
So officially, Joe, you endorse?
Of course I endorse. I mean,
Donald Trump.
I endorse Donald Trump.
And better than that, but kind of worse, here's Mitt Romney on his love of hot dog meat.
Perhaps you also know that hot dog is my favorite meat. I love hot dogs. I love them in buns. I love them outside of buns.
Ooh, too much information. I'm Doug in Exile.